You work 40 hours a week. You get a paycheck. You think you know exactly what you make. But there's a number your employer never shows you, the real cost of your commute, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. I'm Nina, and I'm about to show you how your daily drive is quietly draining your salary using real math, real numbers, and a story you're probably living right now. Here's what most people think their work life looks like. You have a job that pays $65,000 a year. You work 40 hours a week. That breaks down to $31.25 an hour. Pretty good, right? Wrong. Because that number assumes you teleport to work. It doesn't count the 30 minutes you sit in traffic going in or the 45 minutes crawling home. It doesn't count the time you spend getting ready or the 20 minutes it takes your brain to shut off from work mode at the end of the day. When you map out your actual day, that's 12 hours and 15 minutes consumed by your job. Every single weekday. But you're only paid for 8 of them. Let's do the math together. Take that $65,000 salary. After federal taxes, state taxes, and FICA, you take home around $48,000. That's your real income. Now divide that by your real hours, 50 weeks, 5 days a week, 12.25 hours per day. That's 3,062 hours a year. $48,000 divided by 3,062 hours gives you a real hourly wage of $15.67. You thought you were making $31 an hour. The commute just cut your wage in half. But we're not done. The commute doesn't just steal your time. It costs real money. A 25-mile round trip, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year is 6,250 miles. At current gas prices, that's $625 in gas alone. But when you add wear and tear, maintenance, insurance, and depreciation using the EARS standard mileage rate, that number jumps to $4,187 per year, just to get to the place where you earn money. So now subtract that from your take-home. $48,000 minus $4,187 is $43,813. Divide by 3,062 hours, your real hourly wage is now $14.30. For a job that advertised itself as $65,000 a year, that's not a $65K job. That's a $14 an hour job with extra steps. Now let's zoom out. Because if you've been commuting for even 7 years, that's 625 hours a year in the car, which adds up to 4,375 hours total. That's 182 days, half a year of your life, gone, in traffic. And financially, $4,187 a year in vehicle costs over 7 years is nearly $30,000. If you'd invested that instead at an 8% return, you'd have $37,000 working for you right now. But you don't have $37,000. You have a car with 43,000 extra miles on it and a vague feeling that something isn't adding up. Here's the number that should genuinely scare you. If you're 25 years old and you eliminate a 30-minute commute each way for the next 40 years, that $4,000 a year invested at 8% becomes over $1 million by retirement. That's what your commute is actually stealing from you. Not just your evenings, not just your weekends. $1 million. The financial hit is only part of the damage. Think about what your life actually looks like on a commute schedule. You leave at 6:30 a.m. You get home at 5:45 p.m. That's 11 hours and 15 minutes gone before you even walk in the door. What's left? Maybe 4 hours. 4 hours to cook, exercise, decompress, be present with your family, and sleep before doing it all again tomorrow. And on the weekends, you're exhausted. Not because you worked hard, but because you spent 10 hours a week in a car breathing exhaust fumes and watching brake lights. The research backs this up. Studies show that commutes over 20 minutes measurably increase blood pressure, stress, and lower overall life satisfaction. You are literally making yourself sick for free. Let me paint the full picture of a commuter's week because I want you to actually feel this. Monday morning, your alarm goes off at 5:45 a.m. Before you've had a single thought, your body is already running a stress calculation. How long is traffic going to be today? You shower, you dress for an office environment you didn't design, you grab your coffee, and you're out the door by 6:30. By the time you hit your desk at 7:30, you've already spent 45 minutes in transit and your brain has been operating in low-level fight or flight the whole time. Merging lanes, watching speeds, getting cut off. That is not a neutral experience. That is a physiological event happening to your body twice a day, 5 days a week. There is actual research on this. A study found that every single extra minute of commute time reduces job satisfaction and mental health in measurable, trackable ways. Not just a little, measurably. And another study found that people with long commutes report feeling like they have less control over their lives overall, even when everything else is the same. Control. That word matters. Because when you spend a significant chunk of your waking hours doing something you didn't choose, stuck in traffic that isn't moving, on a schedule your employer set, you start to feel like a passenger in your own life. And that feeling compounds. It doesn't stay in the car. You bring it home. Think about what a typical Tuesday evening looks like. You get home at 5:45. You're already depleted. Your patience is thinner than you'd like. You make dinner or you order in because you're too tired to cook, and by the time you've eaten and cleaned up, it's 7:30, maybe 8. You have maybe 90 minutes before you need to start winding down for a 5:45 alarm. 90 minutes. That's your life. That's the window where everything that isn't your job has to fit: your relationships, your hobbies, your health, your goals, your conversations, your rest. 90 minutes. And half of it you're staring at a screen because your brain is too fried to do anything that actually requires focus. And here's what gets quietly buried under all of this: the things you're not doing. You're not reading that book you bought 6 months ago. You're not working on that side project you keep thinking about. You're not going to that evening yoga class because you can never make the 6 p.m. slot. You're not calling your parents as often as you mean to. You're not sleeping enough. And lack of sleep affects your mood, your focus, your decision-making, and your physical health in ways that take years to show up and a lifetime to undo. The commute isn't just stealing an hour a day. It's stealing the version of you that exists when you're rested, present, and not running on empty. It's stealing the energy you could have brought to your relationships, your work, your creativity. It's stealing the quiet moments that actually make a life feel like yours. And here's the part that really gets me. Your employer doesn't pay for any of that. They don't pay for the cortisol your body produces sitting in traffic. They don't pay for the back pain you'll develop from years of car seat posture. They don't pay for the therapy you might eventually need to process why you feel so chronically drained. They don't pay for your doctor visits, your medications, your shortened energy reserves. You absorb every single one of those costs alone, in silence, while calling it just part of having a job. Now I want to talk about something that almost never gets brought up in these conversations: what the commute does to your ambition. Because when you are genuinely tired, not just sleepy, but structurally depleted week after week, your brain stops dreaming big. You stop having ideas in the evening because the evening is survival mode. You stop thinking about the side business or the promotion or the skill you wanted to learn because thinking takes energy and you used yours up on the highway. The commute doesn't just steal your present time. It steals your future. It steals your vision for yourself. And it does it slowly enough that most people don't notice it happening until they're 5, 7, 10 years into the same job, asking themselves, how did I get here? Why does nothing feel like progress? I'm not saying this to make you feel helpless. I'm saying it because understanding the full cost is the only way to make a real decision. If you knew that your commute was costing you $4,000 a year, 500 plus hours of your time, measurable damage to your health, and the slow erosion of your drive and creativity. Would you still accept it without negotiating? Would you still take the job without asking about remote options? Would you still assume the commute is just a given? Or would you do what I did, sit down, run the actual numbers, get genuinely angry about what you found, and then do something about it? The commute scam works because it's invisible. It's baked into the structure of how work operates, and we've been conditioned since our first jobs to just accept it. Nobody sits you down and says, by the way, this job will actually consume 12 hours of your day and cost you $4,000 a year just to get there. They hand you an offer letter with a salary number and let you fill in the rest with assumptions. So fill them in. With real numbers. With your numbers. Because once you see the full picture, the time, the money, the health, the life, you can start making decisions that actually work in your favor. And that starts right now. So, what do you actually do with this information? I want to tell you what happened when I ran these numbers for myself and what changed. I had a 30-minute commute making $68,000 a year. I calculated that after commute costs and real hours, I was effectively earning about $15 an hour. So I went to my boss and asked to work from home 3 days a week. I came prepared. Productivity plan, availability hours, meeting schedule. He said no. So I started job hunting. Found a fully remote position doing the same work, paying $72,000. $4,000 more and zero commute. I took it. In year one, I saved $4,000 in commute costs. I got back 520 hours of my life. I used some of that time to start freelancing, which brought in an extra $12,000 that year. My effective income went from $64,000 after commute costs to $84,000. By eliminating my commute, I gave myself a $20,000 raise without changing careers, without going back to school, just by refusing to work for free. 3 years later, my income has nearly doubled, all because I did the math. Here's what I need you to do right now, today. Step 1. Calculate your real hourly wage. Take your take-home pay, subtract your annual commute costs, divide by your real hours including commute and prep time. What's the number? Step 2. If you can do your job from a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection, build a case for remote or hybrid work. Lead with data. Show your productivity. Make it easy for your boss to say yes. Step 3. If they say no, start looking, because the right job is out there and it won't cost you $1 million to get there. And if moving closer to work is an option, actually do the math. Higher rent often gets canceled out by eliminating your car entirely. A lot of people are shocked by how much cheaper it actually is. The commute is not inevitable. It's a variable, and variables can be changed. If this video made you do a double take on your own numbers, drop your real hourly wage in the comments. I want to know what you found out. If you want more videos on the hidden math behind your money, subscribe and hit the bell. I drop new videos every week on the stuff your employer hopes you never figure out. I'm Nina. Do the math. And stop working for free.